going on?
Thank you so much.
Pay like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ. Yeah.
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family. Smoochie.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock. This guy's got more than 7 billion reasons to smile today because, as you have definitely heard, the UFC has struck a massive deal, an exclusive deal to stream, to broadcast the UFC fights for the next 7 years. $7.7 billion. Of course, the man who is at the center of that negotiation is the great Dana White. Dana, brother, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, today's a good day. I'm actually in Miami, moving my daughter into school right now. She's going to the U.
Is she? Hey.
And then getting this deal done. It's a hell of a day.
Moving the kid in and making an $8 billion deal. Same time. Walk us behind the scenes, Dana. I mean, how long have you been working on this? Were there other deals that were almost made? I mean, what's been going on to ultimately reach this huge deal?
Yeah, we've been talking to all the majors for months as soon as our negotiation window was open. And we had great talks and everything was, we were very positive about this whole thing. And then really within the last 4 or 5 days, this whole thing came together quickly. So, I'm happy to be in business with the Ellisons, obviously very smart, very aggressive guys. And, when you think about what I always used to dream of was a day when everybody on the planet could watch the same fight at the same time on the same channel. And now the streaming is becoming a massive reality. It's getting closer. And I love, what these guys are doing. And now think about this. The pay-per-view model is now over. So you're going to pay for Paramount Plus $13, whatever it is, you're going to pay. And not only did you get all the UFC content and the pay-per-view fights, but these guys have South Park, Yellowstone, Mobland, Tulsa King, and just a massive library of great content. So this is a great day, obviously, for the sport. It's a great day for the fans and a great day for the fighters.
Yeah, Dana, how much more accessible does this make your organization, your promotion to fans? I mean, I'm sure you've got people who wanted to watch, but obviously a pay-per-view can be costly. They don't have to worry about that anymore.
Let me put it to you this way. On the 250th birthday of the United States of America, I'm going to put on a fight at the White House, and more than likely, it will air for free on CBS, the network.
Wow. It's incredible. So,
right?
I mean, the growth, and I want to ask you about that because just the growth of the promotion is incredible. But, I mean, this could really, take things to the next level, I would imagine, as far as just the sheer amount of people that can watch the sports, watch the events.
100%. And like I said, the Ellisons are super aggressive. They have big plans over the next couple of years, and I'm really happy to be on board with these guys. So, I mean, think about the fans, the fighters, our sponsors. The list goes on and on. It's a big day, man. Big day for us. So.
You're not kidding, Dana. In your wildest dreams, like 24 years ago, 2001, when you
the answer is yes. Yes.
Did you imagine that you could have?
If you go back and look at interviews of me 24 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it is, this is literally what I said was going to happen. Obviously, you don't see streaming and don't think of it that way. But I used to talk about a day. First of all, I said this is going to be the biggest sport in the world. Yeah. I used to talk about a day where everybody would be able to watch it at the same time on the same channel. And yes, I said it would be global. Yes.
Was it 2 million?
Yes.
Did you guys put 2 million, right? Was it 2 million that you guys put in?
Yeah.
That's not a bad return on the investment, huh?
Well, think about this. We bought it for $2 million. The sale was $4 billion. Yeah. This deal is $8 billion.
The growth, I was thinking about that. I wrote it down here, Dana, to sell the entire organization just less than a decade ago. And now you're selling media right deals for almost double what,
well, think about this. The sale was $4.025 billion.
Right.
Our ESPN deal was $3.5 billion.
Wow.
the last 7 years. And the list goes on and on. And what I love even more is that when we sold, all the naysayers said, oh my God, they overpaid, the UFC peaked to this, that, all this stuff. I have this saying that I say all the time. Everybody is full. Nobody knows anything, and nobody knows what anybody is capable of doing.
Right.
I believed in the UFC, since day one, and we continue to. I love building things that people say can't be done. And as ridiculous as this sounds, when you look at what the possibilities are now with a company like Paramount and what the Ellisons want to do, we're just getting started.
Talk to me real quick about Khamzat and Dricus. I mean, you've got a huge event on Saturday. I think a lot of people have said this might be fight of the year.
I haven't been to Chicago since before the pandemic, right? We haven't been there. Khamzat versus Dricus Duplessis, unbelievable fight, great card, unbelievable food in Chicago, which I'm excited for. I'm breaking keto when I get to Chicago.
I was going to say Gary Breck is going to be very upset with you, Dana.
Lou Malnati's, Gibson's. I am going to wreck Chicago when I get there. So I'm very excited about the fight, very excited about the food, and very excited to get back to the city of Chicago.
That's amazing. Congratulations, Dana. Not too bad of a day, man. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations. Great to talk to you again.
I appreciate you. Thanks for all your support, man. You're always great to us. Thank you.
Up next, Bill Belichick's girlfriend once again comes face to face with his longtime ex. Did things get out of hand like they did at a Christmas party last December? We'll explore when TMZ Sports returns. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, Bill Belichick's current girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, and his ex-girlfriend, Linda Holliday, well, they came face to face again, Mojo, at a fancy party in New England. Fear not, everyone behaved themselves this time. There was no fighting, no verbal altercation, and unlike in December, Mojo, when they were last in the room together, this thing did not almost erupt into blows being thrown, Mojo. So, the party was the Boston Pops on Nantucket Bash. It is a kind of very highfalutin, high society type of deal, Mojo. A really fancy party, put it like that. And again, both women, Linda, who is 62 years old, and Jordan, who is 24, very involved in the. It's funny when you say it. And of course, let's not forget Bill's age, 73, Mojo. They are both, Linda and Jordan, both very involved in the pageant world and in that kind of that culture in New England there. And of course, they were both at the party. Again, this time, unlike that event in December when they got in a fight, nothing happened this time. Now, Mojo, I will say this, and this probably had to sting a little bit. This party, because it's so fancy and people like seeing kind of the fancy outfits and the food and the drinks and all that stuff, Mojo. There was a lot of media coverage around this event and a lot of photographs shared. This has got to sting a little bit for Linda. So the Nantucket Inquirer and Mirror, one of the local outlets there covering this event, they put up a bunch of photos on their Instagram carousel, Mojo. It wasn't Linda who got the main billing, but instead it was Jordan Hudson. So gotta hurt a little bit, Mojo. At least nobody fought, though. That's the good news. By the way, Bill Belichick not there. Bill has a football game. Of course, UNC, they're about to begin the season here in about 3 weeks. So coach is focused on football, not going to parties. And Mojo, good. You behaved yourself.
Good news, because there were no fights. Babcock, I'm not totally convinced that is good news. I think we deserve a fight at this point. I mean, that's how they needed to up the ante this time around. Last time it was some barbs and some trash talk. I mean, this time we should have thrown down. By the way, this would be a fantastic celebrity fight in the age of celebrity fights. This is the one, and let me tell you right now, I am Team Linda all the way. Forgive my laughter earlier, but when you said Linda 62, Jordan 24, and Bill 73, that I know we've already talked a bunch about this for I don't even know how long they've been together now, but it still makes me laugh every single time. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's no fighting because they've accepted it at this point, right? Like Jordan isn't going anywhere. Obviously, there's been a lot of negative publicity surrounding her relationship, her antics, all these things. And that relationship has apparently weathered the course so far. So, I mean, if anyone was going to try and get a reaction in an attempt to end that relationship, I think they've withstood the test of time here for at least the time being.
Let's go down to Mobile One Victory Lane, Dylan.
Oh, he went down on the cage stand.
Oh my gosh, he fell. Oh my gosh.
Mojo, that was a crazy moment, a scary moment really for a 19-year-old race car driver Connor Dillish at Watkins Glen over the weekend. Again, this Saturday to be exact. He just wins this big NASCAR Xfinity race and is celebrating as he's kind of again cheering along, having some fun with the fans and with his crew. And then he takes a nasty spill, Mojo. Now, I think there was a lot of concern for him as people watched this happen. You say, did he hit his head? What's the injury here? Thankfully, Mojo, on Sunday, Connor actually was able to return, not race, because he did sustain an injury here, but he was able to come back to the track and provide his fans with an update on his health. Take a look.
First of all, I'm doing okay. I'm very grateful to be able to walk away from that, and I guess I didn't walk away, but very grateful to be walking today and just be all right. Thank you to all the medics who took care of me, everybody who reached out and wished me well. I do appreciate it a lot. And yeah, I was climbing out of the car, and obviously the window net was on the door, and as soon as they started spraying water, my foot slipped, and the last thing I remember was being halfway down and falling. So glad it wasn't any worse, and that the collarbone is the extent of the injuries.
Yeah, Mojo, I wasn't sure if he was going to say it or not. He mentioned the collarbone being hurt. He actually did break his collarbone, but I think you worry, you land on your neck, you land on your head, you say, hey, that could have been so much worse. So thankfully he's okay. Obviously we'll be back in the race car sometime here soon after that bone heals up.
Babe Cock, I'm not worried about this. I'm not worried about this one bit. I don't know if you recall, Babe Cock, but take me back to Las Vegas WrestleMania week, and I may know a thing or two about collarbone injuries. Check this out. You see how these two shoulders are not very even? You see this one right here? You remember that tragic breakdown injury I suffered in that amazing breakdance battle victory that I won over at the Palms in Vegas? Shout outs to my homies Laura and Steve over there on the team. I hosted parties the next day. We did it big. I hit the gym the next day. I didn't miss anything. I mean, granted, these injuries are a little bit different, but they're not that much different. I mean, Connor, you're good. A collarbone, you barely need that thing, brother. You're driving, you're good. You don't have to put on shoulder pads and hit anybody or take any body slams. You'll be fine, buddy. I mean, now you got this fantastic moment that went viral. Yes. It was hilarious. I mean, it's still a good moment. You had a great outing, right? And then you slipped and you busted. I mean, to me, you get a little street credit for that one, Babcock. I mean,
no, you're right, Mojo. It's not. He's not Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's a young guy who is coming up, and I think most people didn't know his name before Saturday. And sure, he had to go through a little bit of pain, but he's got a lot of name recognition now. People know who this guy is. He's obviously a talented racer, Mojo. So yeah, as soon as that bone heals up, he'll be back in that car. No sweat.
Hopefully he's got a shoulder that looks like mine by the time he's done. He can wear it like a badge of honor forever.
Linda Hogan posts a heartfelt tribute on what would have been Hulk's 72nd birthday. The emotional message when TMZ Sports comes back right after this.
It was a tremendous shock. It was a blow to my heart.
The legacy of Hulk Hogan.
He was a wrestling star. He was a movie star.
The stories you've never heard.
We tried to camouflage it
from those who knew him best.
I really miss him. I mean, if I dwell on it, I can get really, really sad.
TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, I know we've talked about it a couple times here the last week or so. We've got this big primetime special airing tomorrow night. TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan, like we just saw there, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central on Fox Network in primetime, Mojo. You heard some of the great interviews, and I mean great interviews that are a part of this special. I think starting with that guy right there, Mojo, who, as you know, I know you worked for his company for a really long time, Mojo. Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon doesn't do much talking these days. And I think it goes to show, and it's not necessarily about TMZ or us asking. He talked about Hulk Hogan because that's how important Hulk Hogan was to Vince McMahon, as you know better than anybody, Mojo. And I'm telling you what, as someone who has had a chance to watch this show already, Vince gets emotional. And you can tell that this Hulk Hogan death has had a profound impact on Vince, Mojo. And I'm telling you, like fighting back tears. And then you've got Sly Stallone. Sly says the same thing. You know, look, if I think about him being gone, I could get emotional because all those years later, even after the show, as you see all three guys together right there, even after, you know, decades and decades have passed, Mojo, after the filming of Rocky III, they remained really close friends, and they were two titans in their respective industries. And it's fascinating to hear from all of the guys. And it's not all positive, Mojo. I think it's a real look. It's a chronicle of Hulk Hogan's life, in that we're not avoiding the bad things, right? Obviously, he was incredibly famous, and a lot of his missteps, because of that, they played out publicly. And Mark Henry, I think, does a fantastic job addressing some of those issues and talking about a guy who we once admired and idolized, and how things might have changed a little bit after that infamous tape, Mojo. So bottom line is, again, this thing airs tomorrow, a very comprehensive look at Hulk Hogan's life, and I think the people who worked on this did a great job.
Man, Babcock, this thing is almost here, just tomorrow, as you said. I'm very much looking forward to this, but I'm going to be honest, man, there's part of me that's not looking forward to this as well, because I'm going to need a tissue box sitting next to me, because I think this thing is going to get you in your feels for sure. You said it. Obviously, there was some controversy with Hulk, but, you know, every time I met Hulk, he was always incredibly kind, helpful, always had amazing advice for me. I saw him as early as, you know, Ric Flair's birthday very recently. And again, just a titan of industry, as you said, somebody that is one of the most recognizable sports figures on the planet, in the history of the planet. And yeah, man, getting Vince McMahon to talk about this, sitting down with Vince, that just doesn't happen.
Before we move on, Mojo, I should mention that today actually would have been Hulk Hogan's 72nd birthday. Of course, we know he passed away on July 24th, but today, August 11th, Hulk's birthday. A lot of people, wrestlers, friends, fans, Mojo, weighing in, sending Hulk obviously birthday wishes despite the circumstances, including his ex-wife, Mojo. Of course, this was not a pleasant breakup at the time, but Linda Hogan actually weighed in. Look at it. She posted that really old photograph of her and Hulk together, which is really cool to look at. And then she says, "Me and the Hulkster, 1981, happy birthday, Terry. I love and miss you so much." I think that's a sentiment that is felt by a lot of people today, Mojo. Happy birthday, obviously, to Hulk Hogan. And check out the show tomorrow. TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central. I think you'll like it. Are we getting closer to a potential golf match between NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys? The founder of the very successful The Match weighs in when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, we talked about it last week. The possibility of the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC facing off, not on the stage, but on the golf course, Mojo. Well, I'll say this thing has become a bit more real because, Mojo, you know the guy who has put on these fantastic the match events where they've had guys like Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson playing, Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods and a bunch of gigantic stars. There he is. His name is Brian Zurif. Awesome dude. I talked to Brian and I asked him, hey, Brian, would you have any interest in putting this thing on? He said, absolutely, Mojo. Not only does he want to put it on, he's got an entire vision for this thing already. Wants to do it at the Wynn. They've got a golf course with the Sphere in the background, Mojo, where the Backstreet Boys are currently performing week in, week out in Las Vegas. And again, he's down and he wants to do this. I think a lot of the guys are interested, Mojo, and this thing actually might become a reality.
Vegas, baby, Babcock. I love this. I know that course at the Wynn quite well. Not because I've actually ever played it or stepped foot on it or been allowed to step foot on it. But yeah, I've seen it from my hotel room every time I go there. You're right. It's right under the Sphere. Hell of a backdrop. Good place for them to go party afterwards, or more than likely perform afterwards and make an entire weekend out of this thing. That needs to be the home for sure. This thing needs to be in Vegas as much as the UFC has always needed to be in Vegas. I think it's going to happen. It has to happen. Otherwise, it's going to be just such a big-time letdown. I don't know. Maybe these guys are going to stall a little bit so they can get some golf lessons so they don't embarrass themselves as much out there. I know that's what I would do if I was involved with this thing. So that's my hunch.
Yeah, you know, I think it's great because you've got, if they don't practice, you've got some guys who are good in both groups, you've got some guys who are bad. So I actually think it probably levels out. It'd be a pretty interesting and a fair match, Mojo. So we will see. I also love the idea of having a concert. I think NSYNC should be involved in the post-match concert as well. You gave me another idea, Mojo. So, all right, we'll see what happens. But there is interest, and don't be surprised if this ultimately happens, Mojo. Until then, we're out of time. We got a bunch to talk about tomorrow, Mojo. It's going to be a great show.
That's right, Babcock. It'll be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.